Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P Farm. Thinking right out here in the lab, in the book, doing what I do for you. Oh, I got something good for you today. Let's go. I'm ready. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinker's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal, of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question while we're on the way. Do you know you will when I'm through? That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And to Maya, be true. Right thinkers, let's talk about, I'm going to give you a few selected Egyptian proverbs and teachings for life lessons. I got a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of sayings, wise sayings and proverbs. The Bible, I got the same thing in there. This is before the Bible. How about that? And some of it gonna sound somewhat familiar. You know why? I'll let you figure that part out. All right, here we go. Let's select the Egyptian proverbs and teachings for self-mastery. Be chief of the mysteries at festival. Practice right thinking, yoga, self-reflection. Know your mouth. Think before you talk. Come in peace. Hotep. Okay? And I spell it H-E-T-E-P. Some people spell it with the O. I use the E. But it means peace. Supreme peace within oneself. The Ka, singing like this, that's peace. Okay? And adoration, that's coming in showing sign of respect. So it's all different kinds of signs and symbols that recognize that. But they tell you, come in peace. And this is the main thing. Enjoy life on earth. Why? But do not become attached to it. Well, why not? No. Do not become attached to it because it is transitory. It's going to run out. This physical body will run out. Simple as that. All that being scared and worrying about, that's a waste of your time. And that's just putting you in a bad position. So understand that. And these are all philosophical concepts that if you understand them, you practice them, they become yours. And nobody own them. Okay, they're free to practice. Okay. Attachment. Let's talk about that first. Attachment can be described as what? As in feeling which emotionally ties one to or causes desires for an object, person, place, or thing, including person, places, and things. Sorry about that. I just got to read it. I get understanding. But the erroneous premise which manifests at attachment is the idea right here that happiness comes from something outside of oneself. I've been telling you for years, happiness starts from within, peace within. Everything that you need, you already got. He gave you that. You just got to figure that part out. He gave you a brain to do that with. That's why we got consciousness. And this will act, watch this, in ways that we think will bring or hold objects close to us. Possessions. This is mine. which we think will what? Bring us happiness. Those pictures were taken back in 1978, 77. They're invaluable to me. They're valuable, just me. Why? They're mine. So it means something to me. Somebody could care less about them pictures. That's what I'm saying. Everybody had their own thing that they feel important to them, symbolically, metaphorically, emotionally, however it is. But that's what the concept is about. And you think anything outside of you will make or bring you happiness, you're wrong. The wise man tell you that, I'm telling you that. And forgetting what? That we are God in the flesh. And that God is what? Everywhere and in all things. I'm beating you over the head with this God. Why? Because you need to get a concept and an understanding, damn a belief. Therefore, in this world of what? Constant gains and losses. You up one minute, down the next. Oh, roller coaster, okay? Now, in this world, we cannot own or hold anything. Every one of us came into this world butt-ass naked. And every one of us gonna leave here butt-ass naked. Okay, they may clothe the body, but no, you're going to be butt-ass naked. Why? You can't take nothing with you. That's why. But you can take your consciousness. You can take your awareness. You can take who you are if you know who you are. That's the difference. And rather, we really must realize what? That we are supremely full. Once you come to concept of under that, me and my mother are talking, and she said, I'm not afraid of death. I'm not either. And we didn't, does it? Why? Because when you have understanding, when you have that connection, death is the last thing you're worrying about. Why? That's imminent. That's going to happen. You can't get around that. But to fear it is just adding aggravation to yourself, a fetter that you causing nobody else, you causing it yourself. Fear is false evidence appearing real. You'll make something so you can fear it. You create a concept so you can put you in the fear that I'm not doing that. Conquer your fears. Move on. Why? We are supremely full with what? God's gift. Life. We are everything. And since all is God, nothing is really being gained or lost. While we live in individual situations, prosperities, as well as what? Situations of adversity. You can have it all one day and have nothing the next. It's life. That's what you can say. It's life. And we are what? Are forever full once we realize who we are. Until then, we're chasing, we're believing, thinking, and doing a whole bunch of stuff that's really not going to serve us in the long run. Self-knowledge will. And watch this. The idea is to recall, remember, and practice the teachings of who? Tahuti. He says, as above, so below. What goes on up here goes on down there. Microscopically, macro, what goes on up there goes on inside you. The same thing going out there is inside you. That's the concept that you have to understand to know thyself. Those are things that come with knowledge of self. That's self-knowledge. Actions. Only thing God recognizes is deeds, actions, I-R-E. Whatever you do, if it's good, you'll be rewarded. If it's bad, you will be dealt with accordingly. Simple as that. Moving on. I don't have time to keep going back and forth with that nonsense. Actions which are characterized by what? A feeling of attachment. And we described it a little minute ago above. They are detrimental to what? Your spiritual attainment. Physical thing got nothing to do with spiritual. And to the what? Enjoyment of life. Why? Because such actions invariably lead to what? You ready? Disappointments. I got a lesson coming up for expectations. If you live in expectation, you will stay disappointed. Why? The only person you should put expectation in is your higher self. Why? He won't let you down. Any and everybody else will. Simple as that. If it's a man, woman, don't make a difference. Relative, don't care. Don't expect nothing from anybody other than God. Disillusionment, when you are ignorant, and you will suffer mental anguish. Again, agitation. Wrong thinking leads to wrong action. And for example, watch this. If one engages, those who engage in an act for the purpose of pleasing someone. If you're married, you're supposed to acquiesce to please your wife. That's fine. That's cool. That's fine. In a relationship, same thing. But it's for somebody and for the greater good for the relationship. That's what both of y'all should have understanding, and that takes away that problem of being selfish. But when you don't have that, watch this. When you have the purpose, when you do things for the purpose to please someone else or even to please yourself, Scooby-Doo, that's the hidden agenda. Hidden agendas is what karma love. Why? Because she gonna give you what you really deserve for that having that hidden agenda. That's why. And the more transparent you are, the less karma visits you'll get. Make sense? I can attest to that too. It's been a while since I got a knock. Okay. Thank you. But watch this. Now, if you're doing things to please somebody else or please yourself with the idea, I call it hidden agenda, with the idea of deriving some benefit from the person or situation that you involved. When I was a drug dealer, everything I did, I had an agenda. Yeah, I had an agenda to get money, to get whatever it is I had, whatever when I want, pleasure, whatever it was. I had an agenda all the time. All the time. I dealt with everybody the same way to get what I could from them. That's not a good person. Okay, understand that. I'm telling you that. I used to be that way. But watch this. Now, everything you wanted was what? Material and psychological. One is what? Leaving one's feeling of contentment, right? And happiness when you get your way, when you get what your agenda's met. It's all good. Watch this. All happiness and open to whims of others, or you lead your life of chance. That's not if you think you're lucky, you gamble and all that nonsense, that's all putting yourself out there. But when you have your understanding of who you are, you won't get caught up in a whole bunch of nonsense. The things that I don't do, people say, all right, no, I have my own decisions that I made for myself. You got the same right. Moving on. People get annoyed at me because I don't do what they do. I ain't saying you're wrong or bad. I just don't do it. Simple. In this example, one is what? To attach to what? To outside factors and determines for one's mental state. If you're always gaming, if you're always looking to get something, we know about them kind of people. Okay, that's street. To me, that's what my whole agenda was in the hustle game. To beat the next guy, to outspit the next person. Why? To keep the upper hand. That's that life. I didn't know that had to be in church or whatever, but guess what? Because I'm acquiescing to that lifestyle, I ain't no problem adapting to it and dealing with it for what it is. So moving on. This is the whole point right here. In this world, physical world of relativity, it is certain that every situation will not be what? Pleasing or in keeping with every expectation that you have. Right there, that word right there. That word. Ding, ding, ding. If you go into every situation expecting to get this or get that, do that, and when it work out, you're finna, yeah. But when it don't work, you're upset, you're disappointed. So that's true, simple as that. And a lot of us people who go through that, everybody don't show it the same way, but we all go through disappointment, frustration. Why? Because of expectations. Wasn't met. Understand that, and don't blame nobody for not living up to your expectations. Okay, yeah, right there. So therefore, if your intent is to achieve a state of what? Equanimity within yourself, thinking right, aka Maya, then what? You must strive to what? Find your balance, okay, within your own heart and mind. I'm about to freak out. My concept of heart-mind coherence. The heart and the mind got to become one entity. Physical, mental, matter, and spirit coming together inside you. That's the connection that God makes within all of us once you make that understanding. Why? Because this is the only factor which one can what? Truly control. The only thing you got control over is you and what you think, say, and do. Worrying about what somebody else is doing, ain't none of your damn business. I call it being nosy. I'm not nosy. I don't concern myself with nobody, nothing that don't concern me. Oh, you cold. Or you just, no, I just got my own way of doing things. Once again, perceptions, one's perceptions and reactions, one must understand that ultimately what? That one is the ruler of one's own self. We tell you that you're the captain of your destiny, you all that, they say all that good stuff, but half y'all don't have a damn clue what it means. And you sure can't do it. Why? You don't even know what the hell it means. You sound good. Yeah, what it mean? I don't know. I just say it. Statements made without nothing behind it is useless information. And that self, that self is identical with what? All existence. What that mean? That self is God. Hello? Wait, you ain't been paying attention? When I raised my kid, I think I had it called dummy slap. Every time you do something that's just dumb, I'm gonna pop you. Some days we had days with a few pops, and okay, but guess what? After about a couple of days, no dummy slap. I said, Dad, I didn't get a dummy slap. I said, son, you didn't do nothing dumb. Continue that. Simple. If something you're doing ain't working, work on it so it don't become a problem. So when you take care of it, now you should be rewarded with what? A better situation for yourself. Dumb means you did something that you got to pay for. That's not smart. Okay? You should be rewarded for the action that you put forth. The effort that you put in should be rewarded. If it's wrong, it will be dealt with again accordingly. But this self is identical with what? All existence, and is supremely full. God don't need a damn thing. No, it's for you. Calm down. So therefore, God has no need for outside approval, validation, or fulfillment by anyone. Our ignorance of who we are is the fact that leads us to what? Make our happiness dependent on what? Factors outside of ourselves. I don't need you to make me happy. Physically pleasures, yeah, but I don't need that. Okay? But no, that's not a need. Understand, when you make a sacrifice for God, give up something that you want, something that you particularly need, and see how you can do when you make that sacrifice. That's what God wants to see. Give up something that you really cherish. That's what the whole part about Abraham and his son. My man, that wouldn't work for me. Okay, I keep telling you that, but that's one of the lessons of showing how dedicated you are to your higher self. Okay, so through the incorporation of the teachings that you're learning, and what in our daily life, practicing them, the activities, and by incorporating them in the daily practice of what? You ready? I keep saying this and I'm going to say it again. Self-reflection and daily meditation. If you're not meditating, you ain't in contact with God. Okay, you ain't on the main line. No, the main line's up here. No, that's the main line. And when you got God up here, now you can communicate. But if you ain't meditating, all you do is praying and dreaming and wishing, that ain't gonna get you nothing. Some of y'all figure that out by now, so change the program. But now it is possible to what? Intuitively, that means it's inside you already. Intuitively, what? Discover this fact that you and God are one. Takes a little work. But one who understands this teaching would act because he or she what? Now wants to what? Out of the goodness of their heart. If your intent to help somebody is just that, just do that. We got doers and non-doers. A non-doer would do it out of the kindness of your heart. That's what makes us different. A doer would do it because she has an agenda, or she has an agenda that they want. They're going to do this, make a deal. Sound like the devil, don't it? If somebody say, you do this and I do that, don't trust them. Moving on. Why? Because now they would do things from their heart. And now because they are, what? Looking for happiness by what? Making other happy. Call me crazy. I do what I do for you. Why? I appreciate helping somebody else. Where that come from, I had no idea. That old guy, I'm only going to appreciate what? If I'm getting something in return. If I'm giving you a bag of weed, you give me some money. I'll give you some cocaine, you give me some money. That was how I operated. Moving on. But that was different concept. And when making others happy, watch this, or being expecting, or by expecting something in return from them, These factors are always variable and therefore illusory. Why? Because since all is the self, we don't understand that, we're ignorant. And watch this. So when one acts in the interest of others or the world, one is really what? Acting for oneself. You understand that? That just freaks me out because it makes a total sense to me. But watch this. Now, in this manner, your actions in this world may be undertaken with full responsibility of what? For your own action. So calm down. Knowing you're responsible for what you say and what you do. That's money. And one's contentment in what? With oneself and one's acceptance of what? One's actions as being righteous, virtuous, and the relinquishment of what? The outcome. Meaning, I don't care what you do. If you need something from me, I got it, you got it. After that, I don't got nothing to do with me. If you need $50 to pay a bill, I don't need to know the bill. I don't need to know none of that. If I got the $50 to give it to you, then I'm going to give it to you out of the kindness of my heart. Simple. If I don't have it, it don't make a difference what the bill is for. It don't make a difference. If I don't have it, I don't have it. Again, you can't get blood from a rock, conceptually, but that's the whole point. You can't give what you don't have. And if you're going to give what you do have, you should give from the kindness of your heart. That's all. We all do, but a lot of us put that string on it. Just in case. All right. But when you do it, you relinquish all outcomes, be they favorable or not. Leave no room for what? Mental agitation or anguish. Meaning, well, I did this for you. You can't. No. Whoa. If you did it for that, you did it for the wrong reasons. Again, if you did something for somebody when they need it, and then when all of a sudden you need something, they can't do it for you, you throw it back in their face, you did what you did for the wrong reasons. Simple as that. And thus is. Now, thus, your full enjoyment of the world and your own happiness are best achieved when what? With your mental attitude of what? Detachment. That means living in a way which promotes purity of heart, decreasing mental disturbance, agitation, and increasing what? Hotep, peace within yourself. Take away the drama, stop all the nonsense, and just enjoy your life. That's advice from Mr. Wright. That's the lesson. I see the clock. Oh, I'll be back with more. I'm just getting started. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. And in closing, right thinkers, may y'all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So I never know that my right thinkers who getting wise words and put them to use for themselves have passed away. I'll be right back.